Welcome to Fox Talks Business Podcast with your host, Tanya Fox. Tanya has been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, owning retail, service, and franchise. She holds no punches and is never afraid to talk about the nitty-gritty. Together, you'll explore the good, the bad, and the motivational of business life, turning obstacles into opportunities and failures into successes. So grab your favorite drink and let's have some fun. Here's your host, speaker, crafter, and collaborator, Tanya Fox.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I'm so excited to have you and learn more about your story. So tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are, your journey so far.
Well, it's a long journey, but thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I mean, to give you a little bit of background about me, I moved here about 24 years ago from Israel after serving 3 years in the Israeli Air Force. It's mandatory back then, back in Israel. So it's not a choice. This is what it is. You got to take it. But after moving here, I joined college. I had to be on a student visa, but the only job I was able to land was picking up trash for a construction company. So not even doing construction, it's picking up trash for the construction company. And that's what I did every day for about $5.25 while I was going to school. And I did that for about 3 years until I got my paperwork done. And then at night, I landed another job, and that was cleaning up shopping centers. So from like 10 o'clock at night until 2 o'clock in the morning, that's what I did while I was going to school. But moving a little bit forward, finally I was able to get my paperwork in order and everything, and I was able to land a job. And my first job was selling cars, and then an insurance agent. So I was always into the selling and building and creating, but it was never like, I could never work for anybody else. For whatever reason, it was hard for me. So I was always a salesperson, not always an entrepreneur. Now I am an entrepreneur, but I mean, I was always a salesperson. Fast forward, moved to California, worked with my uncle in his construction company. I launched my own design company and was able to take that business from $300,000 a year to over $2 million. And that was under 2 years. So that was like, okay, I guess I'm good in sales. I guess I like this. It's happened. And it was just me as a salesperson. So imagine the possibilities. But what had happened is in 2010, we part ways, me and him part ways. And I found myself with like literally nothing, not even a vehicle. I remember taking a cab back home because that's all I didn't even have a vehicle. It was a company vehicle. Right. And I decided I had to start from the beginning. I literally had to start from rock bottom with nothing, with no car, nothing, no experience. And I decided to go into a photography business. So I launched my photography business, but again, no leads, no experience, not shooting for anybody, nothing, no portfolio, anything. So it just starting from the beginning. And I was able within 10 months to turn that into a 6-figure company.
Right.
And that was amazing. That was a good experience. I mean, I love it. And that's what I did until last year. I mean, I still have another event this year that I committed to back last year, but now I'm fully 90X. But what stood out throughout those years, I mean, I'm giving you the whole story really quick because I don't want listeners to just sit there in the past and, but what really helped me take it to the next level every time that I started at the beginning was literally setting goals.
Right.
So it was just setting goals and knowing what I want and how I want it, and just setting goals and not letting them go until it actually happened. And that's what kept me going. But more than the goal is the why. It's the reason behind why I want to achieve what it is that I'm about to achieve. And that's really what helped me. So 2017, after procrastinating, which we all do.
Yes.
For 3 years. And that was a mistake. Because I procrastinated for 3 years before I created the 90X journal. And I decided to do it. But even that was not an easy task, right? I have 4 kids. I'm married. I have a mortgage. I have the whole thing, a full-time photography business. And I have to work in that, creating a new product. So now it's a product business, not just a service business like a photography was for 8 years. I decided to launch it, but I gave myself an opportunity to fail, permission to fail in 90 days if this didn't happen.
Right.
And that's the way 90X came about,
So when you had talked about, sort of being in that moment of procrastination, what was the final thing that made you kind of kick yourself and go, okay, this is it, enough. Like I can't keep putting this off. Because I think a lot of people get stuck of going, I'll do it tomorrow, or it's not quite perfect, or it's not exactly the way I want it, or I don't have enough info or whatever. So what was it for you?
So my procrastination was a little bit different. It was like, I will do it tomorrow. It was just finding excuses, okay, that other people already have it. Like
Right.
or other people already have the planner. Theirs already better. Who am I to do something that's already exists, and who am I to invent the wheel, right? So it wasn't like I don't want to do it, but it's like finding other excuses, which is same equal, right? Same thing. It's still not doing it. Finding excuses like, okay, they have it. I'll try their journal. No, this one is better. Or let me buy another one and another one and another one. And then I got to the point, it's like, you know what? This is all not working for me. This is BS. This is just me giving excuses why I shouldn't do it, not even one reason why I should do it.
Right.
And that's where the moment shifted. So the first thing I did, because I had that idea, I knew I wanted to create a journal. We're working in the system for a while now, for years, with the photography, with the insurance company, with the construction company, and it always worked. And when I finally decided, I'm going to do it, the first thing I did is I hired a coach. I hired a business coach, which was a friend of mine back in 2008. I also went to coaching school, business coaching. And I hired her and I said, look, I need you to help me, coach me through this so I don't come up with more excuses.
Right.
So I don't, right? Because that's what we do, right? So just trying to do it ourselves, it's a little bit harder because then we can, forget it, we'll just do it, or somebody has it, or they already did it. Who am I going to do it, right? All those excuses why not to do it and not giving yourself a chance. And like I did, like I said earlier, as I gave myself permission with her to fail if this doesn't work and what would go wrong, right? So we decided that worst comes to worst, I have 1,000 planners on my hand. I lost $5,000 in about 80 days of work time.
Right.
If it did not work.
Yep.
But it did work. So I gave myself the chance to fail. Like I said, so I already went in, okay, worst case scenario, it doesn't work. And I decided to go full in. And I'm so happy that I did. I wish I'd have done it 3 years prior, because I've had 3 times more the market share, let's call it this way,
right,
that I have right now. But it's okay, because everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in the right time. And I believe that, just giving yourself the chance, giving yourself the opportunity. And that's why we also work in 90 days and not
right,
a whole year. Because, worst comes to worst, you lost 3 months and a couple of bucks. You didn't spend on that idea years and years and years to make happen. And that's why you lose the momentum. You're like, forget it. I'll just do it tomorrow, whatever. So you see the difference when you work in smaller chunks.
Yeah.
It's easier to stay focused for that period of time.
Well, and I agree with that too, because I know even for myself, I can't do like the year, and that was like, I remember going for like even job interviews and they're like, where do you want to be in 5 years? I'm like, 5 years? I'm thinking like 3 months. Like, I don't know, not here. Like, but you can't say that, right?
Exactly.
And so that is one of the things that I like, is because I need smaller chunks, because I need more stuff that's obtainable. And I know for myself, even setting goals, I have my big goal, but then I have my smaller goals that still lead me down that path. But I need that gratification, I guess, quicker to go, hey, I'm on the way, I'm getting there.
No, 100%. You're right there. I always tell people, have your big goal. Nothing wrong with having a huge goal 5 years, 10 years down the line, right? What's the big picture, right? What's the big mansion? How do we want it drawn? What is our masterpiece? But to be able to get there, we got to take it small chunks. You will not run an Ironman, or you will not do an Ironman if you haven't done even a half marathon or marathon. You're just not going to happen. You can't do it. You can't do it. You're going to have to start with each segment to be able to build there. So that's why I tell people, start with smaller. Take the 90 days, even that break to monthly goals, and even that break to daily goals. We started it with like, what is our intention today? What is it that we're about to do today that will get us closer to our goal? Not our 5-year goal, but our monthly goal or weekly goal or a launch goal or whatever goal you may have, your product goal. So that always helps, and it always makes it easier. And then it's like, oh, it's a lot easier. It's a lot more achievable than me thinking about 5-year goals. When people ask me that question as well, it's like, I really don't know.
Yeah.
Because things change.
Yeah.
So I can't say, this is exactly what I want. This is right. No, because circumstance happens, things change, we move, things happen that we didn't anticipate, and we have to pivot. We have to move from there.
Yeah.
So.
And I find that happens to me a lot too, because when I do the look back and I go, if 5 years ago, it wasn't even on my radar to start a podcast. So I can't, I can't stick to that, you know, obtaining that goal 5 years ago. I wanted something completely different. I wanted to start a retail store, which I did. And then I did it for 5 years. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. Now I want to do something else. So,
Exactly.
so tell us a little bit about, so you created this planner. You had said that you had started a bunch of, like you had purchased a bunch of other ones.
Yes.
What did you find was missing? Like, was it just the fact that it was the length, or what was the one thing that you were like, that I need this?
Yeah.
Why doesn't it have
Yeah,
this?
exactly. So what it is, I purchased a bunch of them. I mean, some of them were like, yes, a year long. Some of them were 90 days. Some of them were 100 days. I mean, each one has their own thing. What was missing is a daily system.
Right.
I mean, everybody started beautifully. What is your goal? What is it that you want to do for the goal? Everybody started beautifully. But I think it was missing a system, accountability that's going to take me every day. Because me just writing my 1-year goal, now I need a system. I need an accountability buddy that sits on my desk and stares me in the face and tells me, this is what we got to do today. So what I found that was missing is a lot of planners out there. I mean, they're all great products and they all have something great in them. But I feel there was missing that, like I said, the system. It was missing the right question. It was just very long, too many questions. So I wanted to make sure that mine is very minimalistic, because I don't want a person to sit here and spend an hour on it every day. You should not spend more than 5 to 10 minutes. Actually, the spending 10 minutes, that's too much. So I prefer they spend 30 minutes on meditation about what it is that they want and then go take action, rather than let's answer 25 questions every day. You see what I mean? So I wanted to create something very, very minimalistic, very, very clean, very easy, so everybody can just pick up and go and follow. Wanted to make sure it's also undated. So this way, there's no excuses. Well, I'm going to wait for the end of the year, end of the month, or whatever. Like, okay, let's get going. And if it happens, right? A week goes by, something happened, we couldn't do it, skip the week, start refresh, and then go again. So that's what was missing in the planners that I looked at. And that's why I wanted to create mine very different, very minimalistic, not a lot of questions. What are my actions? What is my to-do list? Go. That's it. I mean, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. And I love the undated thing. I think that's probably my favorite feature, because I know we did an episode about bullet journaling. I believe it was episode 6 that we had done. And I started doing it. And I love it. I changed the way I do it a little bit, but I use it more for personal. So I wanted something that was more really like, it was more my personal goals and stuff, but it's a blank page, right? And you create what you want.
It's a canvas.
So to me, I'm like, I just need something that I can fill in. And I love the accountability piece, because that's key to me. I have my own accountability partner. She texts me every single morning. She's like, okay, what are your top 3? And then at night, I get that phone call, did you do it? And why not? And that helps keep me on track, because I have something else that I have to answer to. But when I get stuck, like in typical, like even agenda books and stuff like that, I always look back and then I feel defeated. So I love the not dating, because you don't feel that sense of defeat of, well, look, I missed this whole entire week and now it's a waste. And
exactly. I don't want the plan to be an excuse to say, okay, let me wait for the beginning of the month or the year or whatever, right? And the accountability, I mean, just having this big book stare at you every day at the face, I mean, it's right here on my desk. And that's why I was like, okay, are you going to open me? Are we going to get going? Or are we just going to do nothing, right? So that's, for me, is my accountability buddy. I mean, now I'm obviously in the system. I'm already doing it every day. It's already part of my routines, in addition to a lot of different things. But, I want to add one more thing and kind of back it up a little bit, because I kind of moved forward. Big, especially for your listeners, if they're trying to form a business, I mean, it's or trying to launch their product or whatever it may be, is pick one thing and stay focused on it. And I had to make a decision in closing down the photography business. And that was a profitable $300,000 a year business. But I had to close that down so I can stay focused 100% on INDX. I tried to do both, and it did not work. It did not work, because then both of them turned out to be a side hustle.
Right.
So I was hurting this and that, and I'm not focused. I'm frustrated with this and that. So I had to make the decision. So before you launching your business, whatever it is, make a decision, believe in yourself. And I had to take a big, big pay cut, right? Because I'm starting a brand new business. That's like, I'm only, 90X is 2 years in the market, 1 year since I've been a full-time. Right. So we haven't been back in this in the garage. So literally, we have been packing these in our garage with my kids and everything else. That whole American story, whatever. I mean, it's true. That's the way it happened. But decided to take it full on, get a storage, get a thing, get an office, and make that happen. So that's something that I will recommend the listeners if you're moving between 9 to 5 in your business, or a business you're unsure, or two businesses. Pick something that you're passionate about. Pick something that will help more people and impact them more, and then get going. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to do the 90X, because I feel I can help a lot more people faster than with the photography.
And did you find, like, when you were doing both, did you find that when you quit, your focus and your intensity was more because now you're focused on that one business idea that needs to work?
Exactly, because I had to make it happen. And
Right.
I decided to pick 90X. I mean, I'm still, until today, get some emails about the photography, which frustrates me with the things that were not done or whatever. But I forwarded to my wife. She takes care of that part until we close it down completely. But it gave me, like you said, just to focus on one thing, and then create more things from that business, where before it was the photography and then this and then the orders and then photo time, so I have to shoot, so I can work for it's just all over the place. And whatever your business is, I believe that you cannot run two businesses successfully. I just don't think you can, unless we're talking about big like Jack Dorsey that does Twitter, N Square and all those other businesses together, but he has a whole team, army of people that are running things, so it's very, very different. As beginners, as new entrepreneurs, it's hard to do that. Yes, once this is all and you bring somebody in to run your business, go start something else. But to do them two, it was not working for me. But I preferred to pick 90X because I saw the bigger picture, the bigger impact, and how I can help a lot more people. That in my point was me, because I didn't have any support, guidance, or help when I started my businesses.
Yeah.
So that's something that we definitely wanted to do.
And I think that's true too, because I have multiple businesses, and a lot of people say to me, well, how do you do it? And I'm like, I have never started two at the same time. Never, never, never. Like, they're always very well established, can run on their own. I have a team that's working with them. Like, I couldn't imagine, because it takes over your life when you're starting something.
Exactly.
And then who are you that day? Right? Like, which business hat are you wearing? And it's hard when you're starting a business. You need to be 100% in that idea and in that focus.
Exactly. So once you have that team established, once the business is established, and all they got to do is make sure the oil's in change and get going, then it's fine. You come and check it once a month or whatever, but you cannot be. But with 90X, I am 90X. I am the brand behind it.
Right.
And that's what it's important to me. It's not a logo. It's not just the logo and say, here it is. It's me. I'm the person. I call people directly. People know who 90X is to me, because it's important to me to be the brand, not just the behind the scene person.
Yeah.
So that's what I decided to do.
And you have created communities and stuff around this. It isn't just you get the book, you're on your own, see you later. So tell us a little bit about all that other stuff that is now evolved out of this book.
Yeah. And this will go to the people that are worried about how this is going to happen. They're worried about the end result. They're worried about the perfection. Right. So starting the business, starting 90X, I decided to first launch the product, create the product. I didn't wait for it to be perfect. So for you guys over there that are trying to wait for it to be perfect, don't. Just launch it messy and work from there. So that's what I did. I launched it. And then from there, we started building. Now we have, 3 different collections with so many colors and everything. Well, before it was just 2 with 1,000 planners. Now we have storage full of them. So once we launched that, I got a lot of clarity. It was just a planner in the beginning. And then with action, I got a lot of clarity. People started coming back and say, hey, do you have videos? Do you have courses? Do you do one-on-one coaching? Do you do group coaching? I was like, bing, the idea came about. It's like, I can create more things. So then we formed a group coaching. Then we did one-on-one coaching. Now we have a membership. So we literally have a business membership that helps people get to 6 figures in 1 year by being part of a community, part of a mastermind, without paying the big fees of a mastermind. And that's something that really came about by putting it out there. Now, the funny thing is, we are now a coaching company that happens to sell planners.
Right.
Where before it was a planner company that happens to sell planners, but now we're a coaching company that helps people grow their businesses. And by the way, we also have a planner.
Yeah.
So that was never a year ago. If you tell me that, I would say, crazy, no way. This is what we are about to do, is just sell as many planners. But then I noticed that the impact is less and I can help less people, because all I'm trying to do is sell. rather than help. And now it shifted to how can I help more people? How can I be a support and guidance through their business? So whatever they're going through, it doesn't matter what your business is. And that's where all that started. Is now we have a membership for businesses, we have group coaching, we do a lot of other things, but we also have a planner, by the way, that you can buy if you wanted to, or if you're a member, you actually get it every 3 months. But yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's key, right? And like you were saying before, is sometimes those goals change. And sometimes
Yeah.
when when you start something, it takes on a life of its own and it evolves into something else that you weren't ever expecting it to do. But if we're not open to that, and we're not open to taking that road that might look like a under construction, you just never know what's going to be on the other side, like yours,
Exactly. It's most people, I think, started and they want to get all the steps in the row.
Yeah.
They want to know everything that's going to happen, how they're going to do it, how it's going to look. And you can try that. I guarantee it's not going to work because you can have all the steps. And that's why when we start our day in the studio is we ask ourselves, what is our intention today? What is it that we want to do today that will get us closer to our goal? So if we're in the middle of the launch, or if we're doing whatever we're doing, is I kind of know the sequence, okay, what it is. But today, what is it that I'm about to do? I'm not worried about everything. I'm worried about just today.
Mm-hmm.
What is it today that I can do? And, that's going to lead us to our goals. So just starting slow, just giving yourself the chance, just breathe, stop, relax, take it one step at a time. Don't worry. It's like if you drive from LA to San Diego, you don't need to know exactly all the exits going to be there. You don't need to know every path along the way. You don't need to know everything. You know that you're going to get to San Diego and you're going to give the drive, you're going to give yourself that opportunity to see what's going to come along the way. Maybe you're going to see something, you're going to stop, you're going to enjoy it. Maybe you're going to be a scenic. You don't have to know everything. And that's what I tell people. Have your vision of what it is that you want to get to. Work from the vision to the vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And one of my favorite things that you said is that you allowed yourself to fail. And because that probably has been my biggest thing. I talk quite often, and I love going out on stage when I do my failure talk about saying, I get up and I say, I am a failure. And the look on people's faces is astonishing to me. But I've learned over the years that failure is where my biggest lessons have always come from. When something hasn't quite worked, but I sit in there and then I go, okay, why didn't this work? I'm listening to my audience. I'm listening to my customers and going, what is it that you're looking for? And just being willing to ask that question, go, I don't know what you're looking for, people. Tell me what you're looking for, because they'll tell you, especially in today's day and age, people have no issue telling you what they want.
it's exactly it. We launched 90X, the goal planner, 90X goal planner, the first version. And the second version is we went back to our audience. We went back to our communities, to Instagram and everybody, and we asked them, guys, whoever has this, let us know what will make it better. And we got over 150 emails telling us what will make it better. We only picked the 9 that we liked and we incorporated. We added like brain dumps, affirmations, habit tracker, things like that into the 90X 2.0. But we asked our community, who else would know if not them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the users. So that's what I did. That's why I didn't wait for it to be perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. Is it perfect now? Hell no, because we could always make it better. But if you want to wait until it's perfect, keep waiting. Or if you just want to launch it and help and serve, then I would recommend doing that, and you will get a lot more clarity than the person that's going to wait for it to be perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect or 100% perfect. There isn't, in my opinion. There's always room for improvement in anything we do.
Well, and I agree with you. I think that there isn't, like, everything evolves over time and changes. Like,
Yes.
even when I sit there and I think, the only thing I can think of that has probably not changed since it started is the tiny little umbrellas in the drink. Like, that's the only thing that the guy's like, I'm done. That's it. That's where it is. Like, but it's true. Like, you need to evolve and you need to change it. And that's how you keep a product that lasts a long time, that continues to go, is that it has that evolution ability to it.
Correct. And you keep your audience, and you keep being part of your community, part of your product. And you just create more, because if it was done and if it was perfect, you're pretty much done. What else can you do?
Yeah.
Right. But when
Next
it's not,
idea.
you can keep, next idea. So go do that.
Yeah.
But I would, that's my opinion. I mean, that's the way we work over here. Is I know it's not perfect, and when creating a new, but I also give myself, like I said, the permission to fail. And And I actually love the word failure, just like yourself. I actually heard Kobe Bryant's in an interview, and he said one of the things that made me better than everybody else is because I studied the losing games. I
Yeah.
watched hours and hours of the losing games, not the winning games, the losing games, to see what I did wrong so I do not repeat it again.
Yeah.
And that for me is like strike. It was like, yes, obviously, because how else can we get better? If it's 100 all the time, in our opinion, then that's it. But when you watch the things that you didn't do good and you don't repeat them, now you're eliminating that failure, right? That failure word or whatever the opportunities, but by just
Yeah.
studying you're losing things that are not working, and then trying to make it better and go from there.
Yeah. And that's hard for a lot of people. And I have found that too, that people get really stuck and then they say, well, but it keeps happening. And I'm like, yeah, because it's the universe's way of going, okay, we'll throw it at you this way. Are you going to figure it out yet? Like, because since I was a little kid, my mom used to say that if you're experiencing the same thing over and over again, you're missing something. So
Correct.
Stop and take a breath and sit and think, what is it that is causing you to constantly get there? And then do you want to get there again, or are you going to change it? It was like, okay, fine. But we fight against it. We fight against failure. And I remember even when I first started my first business, I was 19 and I was so terrified of failing or upsetting a client or, just anything that was wrong. And when I look back, I think, God, if I could talk to her and just say, don't worry about it. Cause now it's totally different. Like now I'm like, yeah, I screwed up. Like it's just, exactly. I'm human. Right. And I allow myself to do that, but okay, I made a mistake. Now, how am I going to fix this? And
what am I going to learn from it?
What am I going to learn from it? And how am I going to move forward so that this doesn't happen again? What's the lesson in there? What,
Right.
How am I going to take this, this obstacle and turn it into an opportunity? Because it doesn't have to stay that. And that's one of the things I always say is failure is one of the few words in the English language that never remains the same. So if you stay stuck in your failure, it becomes a mistake. But if you learn
Correct.
from it, it becomes a success. So you can change what your failure is. You just need to decide what that is. So
yeah,
I love that that's your thing, because that just hits so close to my
no, even my coach, James Whitmore, I mean, that's what it says. In every problem, there's an opportunity. In everything, there's an opportunity. So you can choose and looking at it and identifying the problem and saying, okay, this is a problem. Or look at it and find out the opportunity in that problem. And in everything, there's an opportunity. It's just unbelievable. But even the things that we say like, hell no, why is this happening to me? There is an opportunity. There's a bigger thing that we don't see it, and we will see it when time comes. And so I really, really believe that. And I not always work like that. I have to admit, it's not like always I work like that. But I mean, in the past year, I've changed tremendously. And then seeing the opportunity and helping more and more people, that's what I'm working for right now. It's like, what can I give? Forget about receiving. That's what I've noticed. And also making things very, very light, not heavy, not stuck, just very, very light. I feel that everything that we do has to flow easy. If it's not flowing easy and it's heavy, it is not going to work. So let's go back. Let's clean up. Let's remove the dust and let it flow easy. Because once it flows easy, it's just a lot easier. Yeah. There's just another way around it.
Yeah. And it's like you said, we stand in our own way quite often, with procrastination, with excuses, with saying, who am I to do this? Well, who was anybody to do anything,
Exactly. So that's why I tell anybody that we coach, anybody in a membership, I mean, we ask that question every day is like, what is your intention today? Just take one action. Don't worry about anything. Okay. Don't even worry about the results. If you're not comfortable, don't worry about the results. The results will get there. When you start taking action every day, clarity will come. You'll get in the momentum. The universe is going to kick in eventually as well, and everybody's going to help you go forward. But if you're just there, okay, I'll start it tomorrow, I'll start it next week. No, the best time to start it is right now, and it only takes 1 second to make the change, to make a decision. Not a week, not a year, 1 second to make a decision, and then you go forward. I'll tell you a bad habit of mine. I was a smoker. I was a smoker since 18, about 20, yeah, 18 to 27. I smoked 2 packs a day. Not one, 2 packs a day, every day. I used to have a pack in the office, in the car, and in my house, just in case I don't run out. That's the way extreme. And then one day I just got disgusted with myself, and it took me 1 second to stop. No stickies, no gums, no nothing. And I quit in 1 second, because that's all it took.
Yeah. And I
And
think it's true. I was the same way. I smoked, found out I was pregnant, quit, never smoked again. Like it was just, and that was a big pivotal moment for me, was realizing that I had that power to do that. If it was something that I was truly passionate about, if it was something I was truly excited about, if it was a decision, because for me, it was like, I waited forever to be able to have this kid. So yeah, I'm done. Like, that's just it. And then, so now I do that. I'm going to start this business, and then away I go, right? My poor husband. I'm like, here, we're going on this. And he's just like, all right, whatever. Well, what if it fails? And like you said, I always have that. But if it fails, when I was little growing up, my dream was to be a cashier. My brother wanted to be an astronaut, lawyer, doctor. I wanted to be a cashier. Loved buttons. I love pushing buttons now as an adult, but still love buttons. They still bring me joy. And but that was the thing. I was like, so either my dad always said to me, just go do it, like start it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to go work at Walmart and be a cashier, and you're still living one of your dreams. So really, at the end of the day, and I was like, yeah, okay, good point.
And it's just giving yourself that opportunity. And that's why I encourage all listeners. And I mean, I know we say that in our group all the time in our community. Just give yourself the chance. Just try. Just try. What is it that you're going to do today? What have you learned every day, you know, by doing that? What is it that you can do? And just work from the vision. I tell people in our coaching groups is like, okay, start with the vision. Because if you can see it in your mind, you can make that happen. If you can make a picture come to life, right? I mean, I saw the plan. I know I'm holding it over here and your listeners can't see it, but I'm holding this because I saw this complete in my mind. Actually, it's nicer in real than it was in my mind even.
Right.
But I saw that, and that's where the vision that took me to take action and do it every day until this was accomplished. And when I got the first sample, I was so excited. We still have the first samples up here because it's something that we've created. That's why today I say I'm an entrepreneur and not a business, because I've created something from nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's for me is the definition of an entrepreneur. Is when we create something that didn't exist, even if somebody had something similar, it doesn't matter. But you've created something, you brought it to this world, you've created something from nothing. And for me, that's the definition of entrepreneurs. It's just, so that's why if you have an idea, if you have something that you want to do, give yourself the permission, start with a vision, create a vision, a beautiful picture of what you want it to look like, and just go do it. You know, and one thing I want to add over here, don't forget to celebrate the wins.
Yes.
Don't forget to celebrate those moments, because I've done so much and I forgot. Like even when we launched this completely, we did it on Kickstarter and whatever, like we forgot to celebrate the wins because we were like riding into the next thing. Okay, what's next? What's next? What next? And now we're forgetting to actually enjoy the moment. You know, just enjoy that moment, because this doesn't last forever. So enjoy that and then move to the next. It will give you more juice. Keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where can people find the community and the planner?
Yeah. So if you wanted to try our business membership, it's like $20. So it's not even expensive. It's like $20 and you get a free plan every 90 days and a lot more. That's 90xbusiness.com. 90xbusiness.com, and you can be part of the community. I know some of your friends are part of the community, and it's just great people because they all help each other. We have branding coaches, email marketing coaching, startup coaches, Facebook ads coaches in their lives. So you can really help, because all we want to do is help people grow their businesses, because the more businesses grow, the more people we help.
Right.
So, and they help their people. So that's the big goal. So 90x community, 90xbusiness.com. If you wanted to get a planner, it's 90xgoalplanner.com, and you can just go over there and get one. We're actually going to give your listeners 25% off now, and that's Fox 25, if that's okay with you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
So yeah, so that's for them. If it's whenever they want to. So they get Fox 25 is the code to use at checkout at 90xgoalplanner.com. But even if you decide not to join our community or not to buy a planner, that's fine with me. I recommend that you take a piece of paper and write down your vision, write down your goals, write down the why behind it. Why do you want to achieve that goal? That's very important, because that's the juice that's going to keep you going for the next 90 days. And just what actions are you willing to take? Small actions. Sometimes the action of just thinking about it, just driving by that house that you want to buy, just calling a friend, just going to the store and looking at similar products that you want to create is an action. Mm-hmm. People dismiss that. They're like, oh, that doesn't matter. I mean, that's the way we bought our homes, is because we can't afford this house in LA. I mean, this is crazy. I was like, okay, well, let's talk to a realtor. Let's download some apps. Let's drive by the neighborhood. Let's see. Let's talk to the bank. Those are actions, right? And those are the things that I'm talking about. That's what's going to create the momentum of you going, and suddenly clarity will come. And then that will happen. That will happen. Then suddenly you find yourself actually making it happen.
Yeah.
So,
And that's always a fun time to look back and go, oh, I remember wanting this. And look at what you can do. And I think celebrating the wins is a big one, because
yes.
that's one thing that I myself do, is you get so stuck in the, okay, we finished that goal. Now we're moving on to the next goal. And now we're moving on to the next goal. And you forget to, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're going, when you're stuck in a down moment, it's easier to get out when you've celebrated, because you could say, hey, we've done this. We've sold 100,000. We've gotten us sponsors. We've done this before. Remember, like, we can do this again. And I find that those celebrations help turn into motivation later on when you might potentially need it.
Exactly. That's huge. And the other one that's huge for me, I mean, like I said, I've created a lot of new habits in the past, is gratitude.
Yeah.
Is literally writing the things that I'm grateful for every day, whether it's the simplest thing. It's being grateful to be able to talk to you right now. That's not a given. That is not a given. Anything that we do every day, it's a habit. Like I'll take 5 minutes and I'll write down everything that I'm grateful for, anything that I want to take today, like whether staying focused, creating things. I'll write down, spend 5 minutes, whether you have a journal, piece of paper, a piece of wall, I don't care. Just find yourself writing it down, not just thinking about it. And it's a lot, you'll start to refresh better.
Yeah. And I do that. That's how I end every single one of my nights, is I write down 3 things that happened that day that brought me joy. And there are some days where it's like, I didn't kill anybody. Like, you do have those days, but I find it's a lot easier. And what happens is, like you said, it creates that habit that now I'm looking for it. Like now I'm searching for that joy in my day, because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to have to write stuff down. And quite often my list is a lot more than 3. Before I'd struggle to get 3. And now I'm, okay, well, I stop at 10.
Yeah. And affirmations, also affirmations. That's one of the things that we added to the planner, which I was so excited about, and it's just one. I mean, if you have more, do it. But every day, I am successful. I am fearless. I am happy. I am rich. I am whatever it is that you are. Work from that word and write it down. The power in writing is huge. Don't use an app. Don't use anything else. Write it down, whether it's a sticky note, it's a piece of paper, or whatever. It's a journal. It's a 90X. It's not a 90X. I don't care. Write it down. And I mean, those are the small things that mean, and you think is like, well, how is that going to get him better in business? How is this going to get him better in business? Well, those are the things that will. It's not about creating that business or whatever it is. Just starting with the basics. The foundation is, first of all, being happy for what we have, what we've created. Us be able to eat and actually taste the food. I mean, those are things that are not given. It's not everybody has them, right? So enjoy those small things. And I think I work from there now, and it starts my day fresh no matter what comes my way, because I know that this is where I want to work from.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was so wonderful to have you. We're going to link to all of the websites and everything where people can go and find it. And thank you again for the promotional code. So we'll make sure that we have that out as well.
Yeah. And just make sure you guys that are listening, just take action. Just give yourself the opportunity or the permission to fail and take action. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, exactly. You'll be a cashier with me.
That's it.
I swear I could have talked for 4 more hours learning more about ALoN and his story, and just learning from him the lessons that he's taken out of his life and out of his experiences. It was so interesting, even the time that we talked, off camera, and getting to know a little bit more about him. I do encourage you all. I know he said whatever you do, whether you choose his journal or another one, to just go ahead and get started. But I really love it. I'm sitting here flipping through it right now, and it really does take less than 5 minutes a day, and it's fill in the blanks, and it's not dated. So there's no reason that you can't start. And it's a really, really nice book. It's one that I definitely am going to have with me as one of my go-tos. So what is it that you are looking forward to? What goal are you going to achieve in the next 90 days? What is it that inspires you? I want to hear about it. So head over wherever you listen to us on social media and let us know what your goal is and use the hashtag 90X planner. I want to know. Let me be inspired by what you're doing. And see, you never know. Put it out there in the world. Say it out loud. Say that dream. Let the universe know that it truly is your passion. And you might be surprised what comes your way. If you're interested in picking up your 90X planner, make sure that when you head to the website, you use Fox25 to get 25% off of your purchase and get started on 90 days to achieving your goal. So thank you for tuning in. If you can take just a moment to leave us a review, I would be so grateful. And as you go on about your day, achieving your goals, heading that first day on your 90 days, or whether you're 30 days in, remember to have fun. Because if you're not having fun, why are you doing it?